Keller Williams was kind of a cultural experiment. At the end of the day, I wanted to see if I could build an organization that put people first.
As soon as I heard about the economic model and how they were going to share with all the people that helped build the company, I actually said, this will be the #1 company in the world.
The Y4C2Ts was the first time in my life that I'd seen a company actually express their value system and what they believed in on paper.
We are no longer outsourcing to third-party companies. World-class technology companies don't rent their vision, they own it. The only company on the planet that cares more about your success is only Keller Williams.
All right, Gary, I want to start this off with hearing a little bit about your journey.
T-minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We're a family here at Keller Williams, and families hug. With all the reuniting that's going on this week, we want to pass along a few helpful tips to make sure you're ready to hug. Tip number 1, be transparent. You don't want to scare your friend, catch them off guard, or put them on the defense. When going in for a hug, make it clear what you are doing. Tip number 2, show your sincerity. There is nothing worse than a sloppy, half-hearted attempt at a hug. Remember, a hug is a gift, and when you go in for the hug, grip your friend firmly in your arms for at least 2 seconds and mean it. Tip number 3, go with the flow. If you have a bear hugger approaching you, embrace it. Don't force the one-armed half-hug backslap. Nothing says awkward more than trying to turn a bear hug into a halvesies. Now that's it. If you follow these simple tips, you'll be ready for an awesome week filled with hugs. And may I remind you, you gotta give and get 7 hugs a day, or you start to get a little bit weird. So let's all make it a goal to give out 7 hugs every single day. Happy hugging.
A few years ago, we gathered all the smartest people we knew: agents, market centers and regional leaders, technologists, data scientists, and asked them some big questions. What does it look like when technology is simple, smarter, and more human? How can we ensure agents stay at the center of the transaction where their clients want them? How do we accomplish this while eliminating the cost? It's called Command, and it's going to change the way we do business. Start by adding contacts directly, or through a simple voice command with Kelly. All calls, texts, notes, and any other customized fields are synced automatically across all platforms. When you add a new contact to Command, a neighborhood is automatically associated with their address. That way you can share the most pertinent information, such as migration patterns or median home price. Marketing materials have evolved from one-to-many to one-to-one, providing value at the home and neighborhood level for everyone in your database. And with Command, your business is not restricted by IDX. Wherever your clients are, there you are. Another challenge agents identified was the complexity added to the transaction by piecing together different systems connected by spreadsheets. We solved this by ensuring Command aggregated offers, documents, and communications with your client and broker, all in one place. Get a quick overview of your listings, appointments, contracts, closed deals, revenue projections, and customized reporting. Command shines a light on your business, so you're never left in the dark. House within the Command dashboard.
I am planning on doing it monthly, except for next month, due to family reunion. There's so much stuff on the calendar, there's literally nowhere to fit it in. But March, April, May. Do you mind if I record? Bruce is actually going to stream it. Okay. Oh, he is? Yeah. Oh, okay. Just the difficulty with streaming this is that we're probably going to be walking around, and so somebody watching the stream might not get everything they need. Yeah. So, well, I'm recording for my purpose, but also I know Amanda was able to come in. I'll let her know that I think something about it. Yeah. I think Bruce is posting it on the Facebook. Okay. Yeah, Facebook group, page, editor. Oh man. Well, and so no pressure. No pressure, guys. No pressure. So they all right. All right, how's everybody doing today? Good. Ready to learn about some Facebook ads? Yes, hopefully. That's why you're here. So, couple things. If you don't mind, I would like your full attention. Your full attention, not half. No. The reason is because we're going to be going over things, and I don't want you to get lost and having to repeat the same things over and over. We only have 2 hours to get everything done, so I want to make sure that by the time we're done, everybody's walking out of here with a complete Facebook ad that is generating leads for them. So if you can just silence your cell phones, the no talking or texting during the movie is a joke, but if you do have to take a call, just go outside, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to.
Behave.
Yes. Behave. Especially you, Sylvia. I mean, come on. Just kidding. I'm passing around a sign-in sheet at the front. If you haven't signed in, make sure you grab it before you leave. One of the things you need to have set up is a Facebook business page because you'll be using that page to run the ads. You will also need to have a login to KW Command. If you haven't logged into KW Command, it's at agent.kw.com. You will also need to have your accounts, like your Facebook page, Facebook Ads Manager, and some other things connected in the settings of Command, which I will go over briefly. And you will need a Command IDX website or some other kind of IDX website that you can send people to once they click on your ad. So it doesn't have to be Command, it could be the Placer site or some other thing, but they have to go to something once you got them to register. So, little disclaimer. The results of these ads may vary. I am not responsible for you spending your money and you not getting any leads. If we're all going to be running the same exact ad that I'm going to show you how to set up, you might, well, we will have a performance decrease because if we're all running the same ad in Round Rock, Texas, that means that 20, 30 of us are now bombarding the system with the same ad. And so the idea with this class is it's designed to show you how to do the Facebook ad from start to finish and have something running so that you can go back and have an example to go off of. If you want to start with a small budget, you can, but you will be charged whatever money you set to publish it at whenever you click publish. So make sure you have at least a little bit of money in the bank before you click that button. So this is an example of the ad we will be setting up. Seems like right now emojis are not working, so we'll just not put those, but they should be, they're working on fixing them soon, so hopefully they get that fixed within the next couple of days. But it works just well without emojis. So you don't need a copy of this now, I'm going to go over this all later. I have a copy. And now the fun part, if you would please go to this link on your laptop, you will be able to download the images and the Keller Williams logo so you can use them in your Facebook ads. So I've downloaded some sample images that are royalty free that you can use to run your ads. So make sure you go to there and download it. I'm going to give you guys about a couple minutes. It's a zip file, so download the zip file, extract it to your desktop or somewhere you can get to the images, and let me know if you have any issues.
You know everything.
Yeah, so you want to download that?
I used to.
Just download the whole file. Over here. Put that little drop down.
Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
Does it go somewhere else? Does it go right now?
So type in the brother. Go to KWRR. .link.
That's what I put in. That's what's cool about this.
Slash FB ads. FB ads. There you go.
And the link that came up.
That just means I have it defaulting to that website, so if you type it in on the link, just click that button.
Alright.
Yeah. this little drop down right there?
I don't just know what. Just
Yeah,
once.
you'll need, yeah, you want to have all that stuff.
I saw that in each way.
Yeah, different images. We got it over here.
Yeah.
We got a routine.
Yeah.
So, put that. I don't know where it's going to say what. You can also save that link and get to it later. Okay, so you want to type that just up here.
We need to access this file right now.
Yes. If you want to run an ad, you'll need these files or you need some kind of images. Yes, so it's a couple photos of some houses, and the Keller Williams Keller Williams Realty logo. So if you have some listing photos or some other photo that you own the rights to, you can definitely use those. These are royalty-free images, so anybody can use them. Anybody has the right to them. So if you don't have any listings yet and you don't have any professional photos done, it's just something you can use in the meantime to get some ads going. So hopefully you run the ads, get some buyers, those turn into listings, and then you have some listing photos to use after that. That's the plan. So is everybody good? Anybody still downloading?
Do you use photos for all listings or all clients, or you try to use the one that you have?
I'll take certain listings that look good and use those for ads.
Even though if they're all like you close already?
If they're my previous listings, then yes, yeah. Because I own the photographer owns the rights to the photos, but
you can use
I have the right to use them, yeah, for the most part. You need to check.
Hey, if there's how do you know if a photo is copyrighted? Like, how do you know you're infringing?
Did you pay for it?
No, it was like something that like a client had taken or whatever. You know.
So if the client took the photos, what I would say is that the client owns the photos and he can say, hey, take that down, that's my photo.
So is it better to ask forgiveness or permission?
Permission, always, always. Especially with the Digital Copyright Act. If you infringe upon a copyright, they can technically go after everybody. They can go after you, they can go after the office, they can go after Avis, whoever they want.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's best to ask for permission first.
Okay. You can have just an email asking permission.
Yeah, just some kind of written permission, like, hey, do I have the right to use this in a Facebook ad? So I'll reach out to listing agents all the time and ask them, hey, can I use this in some marketing to run some Facebook ads? And usually they'll give me permission.
Do they say yes?
Most of them do, yeah. Because I'm generating leads for them. So I'm helping them find buyers. So it just, depends on the agent. Some are willing to, some are not. So for the people that just came in, we have some material that you can download here. Bruce will run around the room if you guys have any trouble with anything from this point on. So just raise your hand, make a B, or make some letters. Just let them know. $1 per request, please. Or some quarters, whatever you want. And I just wanted to throw this in for laughs. Alright, now for the fun part. So here's command. I'm going to run through the settings part just in case anybody doesn't have their settings set up. So over here, you log in agent.kw.com. you're going to be taken to the main page, but your profile picture will show up on all the pages. So all you got to do is go over here, click settings, and you want to make sure that you have this, the Facebook host scheduling. So make sure that this is connected. So I have one account that's connected. It says you can connect more, but you only need to connect one of your pages in order to run ads through it. So just make sure you've connected whatever page you want to run ads with.
But if you don't have the account connect,
Then you need to connect it. It'll send you to Facebook to log in. And you should just be able to follow the prompts. Does anybody need some time to set that up?
I do.
Okay.
I did it, just need to click.
Yeah, if you're already logged into Facebook, it should just be a few clicks and then you're done. It will ask you for some permissions. So command will ask if you have the permission to view an email or run ads and things like that. Make sure you allow it all the permissions that it requires, because if it does not have those permissions, you can't run the ads. So don't try to limit your privacy. It's not going to work. And then the other thing you'll need is the Facebook Ads Manager. So if you do the same thing, you click Connect Account, it should log into your Facebook Ads Manager.
It says connect more.
If you have Connect, it should be.
I connect the first one. This one here. I connect that one.
Yeah. And then Facebook Ads Manager, so you're good. You have it connected. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so if it has your name right here, then that means your account is connected. If it's blank, that means you're not there. Or if it's somebody else's name, that means you logged into the wrong Facebook account.
What about this one?
Just let it have whatever permission it's asking for.
Yeah. See the paper? Oh, okay. Take it. It's all right.
Right over here. Absolutely.
Millennial old school.
But I lose
Okay. Yes, sir.
So once that's the right way. Never mind. You said never mind?
Well, it said zero connected.
As long as your name is there, you're good.
It didn't say that before. Just as you walk in.
Alright, so once you've done that, we're gonna go back here and you're gonna look for this microphone or whatever it's called. And here is where you're going to start your campaign.
What you looking for?
So this little, the megaphone, yeah. So if you click the KW, this menu expands and you can see what the words are and what everything is. So it helps, because I don't remember what the icons are. The only one I remember kind of is sites, because it's the last one for now. So you click on campaigns, you'll be brought up this tab. So these are drafts that I've created, and these are ads that I've run before. So before you run the ads, you got to set up the payment system, or set up the credit card. So over here, you're going to click payments. Hopefully it doesn't show my credit card anymore.
Yeah, let's get that.
Oh, let it show.
Yeah, we can use
It's
that.
okay.
That'd be a benefit.
It's okay. There's no money on that first one anyway. So yeah, just make sure you have a credit card put in, and it's a card with some money on it.
How do you put one in?
I
use yours first?
On the bottom
you can
left,
use that first one.
it says
I close that.
Add payment method. Oh, I didn't bring it.
How do you put it in? Okay. Yeah, there's an add payment method button somewhere.
It already knows.
Oh, right here. So right here, there's a button, add payment method. So just put in your credit card. You don't need a lot of money to start. If you only have $10 or $5, we can definitely work with that. You will ideally, though, want at least a budget of about $5 to $10 a day once you start doing this consistently and over time. You want at least $5 to $10. Otherwise, you only get maybe one lead every 2 or 3 days, every week. It's just not consistent enough for a good lead flow. And if you only have like 1 or 2 leads a week, the return on that is you're probably not going to really have any closings from that. You need a good volume to sort through and figure out who's actually interested in buying a house.
What's a good volume?
I mean, I get about 4 to 5 a day, and maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 out of the month are good, solid leads. It just depends, and it depends on how often you follow up. If you only call them one time, you're not going to get a good return at all. If you keep calling them until they answer, and the return gets better, and over time you're consistent with the follow up, they will turn into business.
You said, like, are you paying $100 a month? $20 a month?
A little bit more.
Okay, what is your average spend?
My average spend?
Yeah.
I spend personally about $20 a day.
Okay, that's good, okay.
But I have a lot of different campaigns running, all with different objectives. One's like a retargeting campaign, one's generating new leads, another one is like getting people to my website or to promote listings.
So to drive traffic.
Yeah, so I have to drive traffic to my listings, retargeting, and generate new buyer leads. So I have 3 different campaigns, a total of $20 a day. For me.
A total for all of those, $20 a day?
Yeah. It's not that bad once you get going. But only if you make it work. You gotta make it work for you.
So is it being successful for you?
So far. I like to think so.
Hence the reason the class.
$600 a month.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's going well.
$608 a month.
Yeah. So, this big blue button is where we start. Create new campaign. So if everybody click that button, you should have a pop-up window of this. So, in campaigns, it allows you to run social ads, search ads, social posts, direct mail, and email. So you can send out email campaigns. You can do a little bit of everything. Google search ads are more keyword based. So if you're trying to generate leads for like houses for sale in Round Rock, that is where you would use Google. But if you're just trying to target an audience of a certain group of people, that they have to type a keyword in order for Google to work. So Google might be a little more expensive, but they're going to be a little more targeted leads. So maybe next class we can do a Google. But for today's purposes, we're going to do this social ad paid right here. So the first button, and this campaign allows you to run Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But today we're only going to run Facebook ads. We're not going to run Instagram ads. So campaign name, we're going to call it, you can call it anything you want. This is only for your purposes. I recommend something like lead generation. Pick an area that you want. So I'm, for the purpose of the class, because we're in the Round Rock Market Center, I'm going to do mine for Round Rock. So lead generation Round Rock. That way when I look at it again, I know that I'm generating leads with this ad for Round Rock, Texas. The goal does not necessarily do anything right now, but it's so that our system learns what your ads are accomplishing and how they can better, how you can get better results over time. So the more accurate you are with what button you click, it helps our information on the back end learn what ads are working for which purposes. So you're attracting buyers with this ad. And then make sure you click attract buyers, check the Facebook checkbox, and once you're done with that, you can click set up campaign. Raise your hand if you need any help getting to this screen.
Okay, I'm saying that this channel is not connected yet.
Okay, so we need to set up the. Okay.
For some reason, mine's not connected. Click Facebook.
You good?
Okay.
We're all good? So if you were advertising a certain listing, you would use this button, add a listing, right here. We're not going to do that because we're just trying to attack a general pool of buyers. We're not necessarily saying, hey, view my listing, it's for sale for X price. That's not the purpose of this ad, but for any other ads where you're doing that, all you have to do is click add a listing right here. And it'll pull the photos, the information from the KWLS. So add text. So in your main copy, I'm just going to copy exactly what I took a photo for earlier. I'm going to show you how to do emojis. They might not work right now, so maybe hold off on typing them, but on the screen I'm going to show you how, just so we have that recorded for when they do fix it, you can know how to do that. So this little button in the bottom corner, that's your little emoji section. I'm going to start with the stop sign. Stop looking at Zillow. The data is not updated in real time and could cost you your dream home. Okay, now real quick, I'm going to show you why I put these words in caps. So if you look at the Facebook Preview mobile, you will notice that in the preview, the first word is stop in all caps with a red emoji. The idea is that if they're on their mobile phone and they're just scrolling through photos and cat pictures and dog pictures, that they're going to see that red icon and hopefully stop. Now the other word that's capitalized is dream home. So if they're thinking about a dream home or they want to be in their dream home, hopefully that captures their attention as well. So I use the Facebook preview because it only shows maybe half of the description that I'm going to type on the mobile preview. On the desktop preview, you get the whole piece of the ad shown, but the mobile is the most important because I think it's like 75% of people are now browsing their, at least Facebook, on their mobile device. I know I do. Just depends on the user, but a majority of people are on their mobile device looking at ads. So if they're scrolling through and they see that ad, they're only going to see that first sentence with those capitals, and you have to make them want to stop and click on your ad with that short tidbit of information. So right here, we're going to do another emoji, and we're going to do a house, because we just said dream home, so pairing it up with a little photo of a house. See all these homes for sale in Round Bluff. Okay, so see how it cut off see all the newest homes for ... That's all it's going to show on the mobile. So they will see a house now, but they won't see the whole thing that I'm typing. So just so you guys can see it, see everything I'm typing, I'm going to put it on that display for now. So I said 15 minutes, so we're talking about time. I'm going to put a clock. Let's do a red clock. Your home search starts here. And with a little down arrow. So if you're just thinking about, if you don't know what emojis are out there, you can just search for whatever you're thinking of. Just try to pair it up with something that goes with what words you're saying. You have to be super creative. I like the down arrow because it kind of tells them that they have to look down and click to learn more below in order to interact with the ad. And if for some reason, well, not for some, I highly suggest we all pick an area to change to so that we're not all running ads in Round Rock. Because like I said before, if we're all running this same ad in Round Rock, our results are going to be very low.
Yeah, if you just copied what you wrote there,
Yeah.
not gonna be the best result. Yeah.
So if you can do Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill, Buda, Kyle, if you can run this same ad in a different language, do that. Do something to change it up. If you want to target a specific neighborhood, the only thing you have to remember with that is that Facebook only allows us now to target a 15-mile radius. So even though we're running ads in Round Rock, 15 miles also hits Cedar Park and Hutto. So you're really targeting the North Austin area, the Round Rock Metroplex.
So no zip codes anymore.
Right, no zip codes. Only, well, you can target an address, but it has to be a 15-mile radius around that one address.
So you're suggesting we use your verbiage up there, but just give it a different, instead of saying Round Rock, say something
You
else?
can take this and change it and do a different city, or you can kind of take the idea and run with it. The idea is that you say something to get them to pay attention. Like you can say like, hey, attention home buyers, or stop here, some kind of stop word.
Okay, but for now we can just
Yes.
do that, but just don't
But-
publish it.
This is an
You
idea.
can, yeah, you can.
Go
yeah.
home and change it.
Right.
And then figure out something.
Yeah, or if you have an idea right now, see if you get it. That's fine.
Yeah, we need a couple of nights.
Yeah.
Question, hypothetically, can I, did you come to me because I want to show you?
Oh, okay.
No,
I'll go back up
I'm
here.
messing with you. Can you, hypothetically send it out of state? Like if I want to target people in LA, like that might be leaving from out of state, can I get that to fit in there? And ads will run in California?
So the way Facebook ads work is that you can actually target them by an area if they live in the area, or if they are interested in the area, or if they have visited the area. So if they're just here for Austin City Limits or South by Southwest, you can target them. You can also target it so their profiles have to say that they live in Austin in order for the ad to work for them. So there's a bunch of different targeting methods to use.
Theoretically, I can never know it.
But then you can use an address over there as a target.
You can, yeah. Yeah. But I would say your results are going to be very minimal, because a lot of people are going to be like, well, I don't want to go move to Austin right now. You're going to be targeting a very small pool of people, and so your cost per lead is probably going to be very high.
And you can do it by group. If you have a group, daily group, whatever, then you can post it there.
That would be a better way to do it, is go into like a Los Angeles homes for sale group and say, hey, are you tired of looking for homes in Los Angeles that are priced over $1 million for a shack?
Can you do that?
Why don't you move to Austin?
Can you do that?
Yeah. Why not?
So in the groups that I'm a member of, I can target those people that are in the group. For ads.
Yeah, you can. Just not with an ad. You can, just not with an ad. We can put a post out, just not with an ad.
Okay, well, I can put a regular post, just like anything, like an open house, and then they'll see all the people in my company.
No, just a regular ad, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do, so you can list out different cities. So you can say Round Rock, Hutto, Cedar Park. The only thing you'll need to change is where you send them to when you're done with the ad. I'll show you how to do it.
Would you tell me?
So when we're done with the ad, we're gonna create a link to a website with where to send people. So you just gotta make sure you include it. Okay, so with this part, is everybody done with this part?
No.
No. Give it a few minutes.
Where'd y'all find that emojis at?
Oh, right here, this little happy face in the corner down here. And then you can just search for whatever you're thinking of. So like if I say the word special or unique, I'll put like a little unicorn emoji or like something different. Try to change it up a little bit. There's all kinds of different things that you can post. Let's see. There's cars, globes, moons, rainbows, umbrellas. Like if I was saying fast, I would put a lightning symbol. Hot market, little flames. Mm-hmm.
Why do we want to use emojis?
They get better. They get better attention when you're scrolling through a feed. Not everybody is attracted to emojis, but typically the human eye likes colors and objects. It's just some way to stand out from the black and white text that they're scrolling through. Especially if they're, I don't know how you guys use Facebook, but usually you're scrolling through looking for something interesting and you're like, okay, I've seen that, that guy's posted that way too many times, alright, keep going. And then something makes you stop. So you're trying to make this ad make you stop. So next time you're on Facebook, think about, whenever you stop and look at something, think about what made you stop scrolling. What was that? Was it a cool photo? Was it some emojis? I think there's even a way, not in here, but there's even a way to do like bold fonts now and different styles of text if you've seen that. I don't think that command lets us do that, but it's something that people are doing to capture attention. So I'm going to move on to the headline. And I'm going to click or type new listings every 15 minutes. Click learn. I'm going to do that in all caps. More. All right. So the reason I did what I just did is I want to tell people exactly what they have to do to get the information that they're looking for. I want to spell it out as easily as I can, saying, go over here, click this button, and you'll get this information. So if you look this way and you click learn more, you'll get new listings that are updated every 15 minutes. That's the idea with the words that I just typed. And then the home search starts here, so they look down, and then they're looking over at the learn more button. So that's the point to that. You can change it up. There's not just learn more, there's like sign up, download or view app or things like that. There's other call to action buttons. The problem with those though is that, let's say you use sign up. A lot of people will be turned off by the word sign up because they don't want to sign up and get information. They just want what they've been promised. They don't want to sign up for anything. They don't want you to call them. You know, they want to get what they want at that point in time. So if you make them sign up for something, they're going to be like, no, skip. Or they might click it and then close it. So you kind of have to use a little psychology here just to.
That's your question. Instead of putting learn more, you're just trying to change the verbiage a little bit. Could I put look here and then put set eyeballs in?
So you want to tell them to click this learn more button.
Yeah, I
over
want to
here.
see click, but then out there when you got to learn more, put look here and then put the arrow.
Yes, you can. I don't know what results it will get. But you need to spell out. You have to spell out that they have to click this button.
Okay.
So the clearer you are with that, the better. So you could change the other verbiage, but I would say something about learn more.
Okay.
Because the actual button says learn more. Yeah. If the button said click here, then you could say click here.
Can you change what the button says?
You can change it to different words, but it's just some of the other call to actions are not as
Okay,
they don't get the same response typically.
got it.
So that's exactly how it's gonna look
Yes.
when you post the other. And you
For
just
now.
add a picture, it'll be the parentheses.
I mean, you don't have to do the parentheses. I do that, and I do the little arrow. You don't need the arrow. The most important thing is you say learn more and look over, do something over here to click the learn more button.
Where it says Keller Williams sponsor up there, is it gonna show
That's
my name?
yes. That'll change in a second. We're almost to that point. Yeah. So all this will say your business page. So description. Description doesn't really matter as much anymore. It's actually kind of going away. I believe they're phasing it out. And so sometimes it will show under here and sometimes it will not. It's more likely that it won't even show up than it will. So I always say something like, you don't want to miss out on your dream home. Something like that. It doesn't really matter what you say there. It's just another way to attract people. Like I said, it's probably going away soon. Usually most of my ads, I don't even include it. But Command requires you to have the description right now. That could change. So put something like that. You don't want to miss out on this, or you don't want to miss out on your dream homes. Kind of repeat what you said in the top and just rephrase it a different way. That's what I do. So now that we're done with that, everybody ready to move on to the next part? Okay. Save add text. So now we got green checkbox right here, green checkbox right here, and we're going to go to add media.
Just whenever in my ad text,
Mhm.
show new listings every.
Yeah, it might change what shows right here. That, as long as you have the green checkbox and you've typed in everything, you're good. Yeah. So real quick, I actually got to go. Got to download the material myself. Sorry.
What?
Show in folder. Alright. I'll clean up the desktop when I'm done, Bruce. Oops. I didn't do it. Okay, sorry. So you click on add media, click on images. If you have a video, you can use a video. images are a lot easier. Videos, you know, if you don't really know how to create a video or you don't have like a slideshow of photos, then you just go with images. There's some websites where you can put in a bunch of photos and it'll generate a video for you. And I can try and figure out a website that's free that you guys can do that, but I just don't have that at the moment. So we're going to start by selecting media for this campaign. Click on Add Images, and you can only right now do one photo at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the photos that I have. I put them on the desktop. So we got, you can choose any of the ones that I provided, or you can use your own listing. So I'm going to start with this one right here. I just found the house on, what's it called? What's that one I always share? I'll remember in a second. Yeah. No, it's actually you. Yeah. I'm blanking out right now. Unsplash. Yeah. Unsplash. So yeah, if you let me show you real quick. Unsplash. So unsplash.com.
He was asking me. Hey, since we got your attention, so can we use any picture we have that I've taken of any listing that I've done or open house that I've done?
Yeah, as long as you own the rights to the image.
Yeah, I took the picture.
If you took the picture, you're good.
So it doesn't matter whose listing it is. If I took the picture, then
If you took the picture, then it's your photo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if it's somebody else's.
Well, it's just a picture of the house. You're at that point, you're in public domain.
Someone else's.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
I would get permission from the agent first.
Yeah.
Just because.
That's a good disclaimer. We're gonna go with that. Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to. You don't want to include like their listing sign or anything like that, or any identifiable information. Like if their address is on the front of the house, you probably don't want to show that.
So to add a point, a lot of realtors put their listing publicly on places like Zillow. If they put it public, that means they've gotten permission from the seller to make that information public. There are some listings where they don't allow the listing to be public. So that's where you don't want to get caught sharing a photo of a house that you took from a current listing. So yeah, if they have that agreement, they're like, no, we don't want this public, and you went into a house to preview it, and you took a picture, you can get sued for that. Yeah. But most are public because that's the goal, right? So you can always check on this.
So here, if you don't have any photos of houses, I just went, so the photos that you have in your zip file, all I did was went to unsplash.com and I searched for house. So I chose the photos that are in that zip file that are the closest looking to our market. Obviously, if you're in Lakeway or there's like this would be perfect for Florida. I was actually about to download that and I saw a bunch of palm trees and I'm like, oh man. Because that would be cool for listings with a pool. So if I'm generating an ad and I'm talking about pools, this would be a cool photo that I can use as much as I want that shows a pool in it. And I don't have to worry about the rights.
Looks like they put a pool where their driveway should have been. Looks like the front of the house. I know it's probably not, but
I don't know. Those windows look fake, but I don't know. But yeah, I scrolled through here and I chose the closest photos. You can do the inside of a home. The only problem with an image like this is it's going to cut it off like a rectangle. So you're only going to be left with, like this much of this image, and it doesn't get the same effect as it being positioned that way. If I was doing something on Instagram stories, then that would be a perfect image to use. So this is one of the photos that I chose just because it looks kind of like, I don't know, maybe out in Liberty Hill somewhere or Leander. possibly. So we're just going to add one photo at a time. Go to preview and crop image. And when I crop an image, I try to capture the most engaging piece of the photo. So here, if I move it all the way up, there's no steps to the front door. And you're kind of like, well, what's going on here? If I do it about in the middle, at least you can see the front steps. You can see the houses over on the side over here. If I do it over here, you're not able to see the top roof and you don't really know how big the home is. So for this image, I would probably put it around the middle here somewhere. Personally, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want. This would be how I would crop this photo. You're gonna save that. So we got one photo down. We're gonna add 3 more, I think. You don't have to do more. If you want to do one, that's fine.
I just like it. So is it going to be a cluster or?
So it'll actually be a what do you call it?
A slideshow?
Yeah, like a slider. And so the benefit to that is Facebook is going to determine which ad gets the most clicks and the most the best performance. So if you give it 4 or 5 images, the max is, I think the max is 5. If you give it 5 different images, it's going to choose the one that's performing the best and prefer that one. So you'll have better results than if you just do one image that's not really doing anything. If you have one great image, use that. Add images. So I'm just going to keep adding. So the reason I chose this one is because it has nice bright colors, very green grass. It kind of looks to me a little bit more like an LA house or maybe something in downtown Austin, maybe.
I don't like how the house looks like it's misshapen.
Yeah, but I like the colors. So the reason I chose this is because of the colors.
Okay, so I just chose that one and I'm like, oh.
You don't have to use it.
Look like somebody in the country, man. I chose it, you know.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, tailored maybe. I want those bright colors. I want it to pop. I want it to capture your attention. So whatever photo does that, use it. The same reason I chose this first photo is because of these yellow lights on the front, the sunset. It kind of just, it's just a nice, pleasing house to look at. Better than like a, you know, gray sky that's kind of gloomy. So this next one, this one's a little hard. I'll probably move it up to get as much as the roof and the landscaping as possible.
And you can still see stairs. So
you can still see stairs, yeah. And then one more. How many did I have?
Is there a limit on how many you can add?
4. Oh, I only did 4. I think you can only do 5. So I think I
added the round ones.
2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Oh, I did put that one in there. Okay. Yeah, the reason I chose this one too is because of the pool. It looks like it could be out in Lakeway, maybe. I don't know. Or somewhere. Somewhere around here.
Well, to your point, if the ad is going to be focused on people in California, but they want to relocate here, that's going to draw their attention.
Yeah. Seeing that houses might look similar here. Yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see as we talk, you'll see this kind of slide around. That'll be exactly how it works on Facebook or similar, depending on whether they're on their desktop or mobile. All right. So DBA logo. So this is a new feature. What it's doing is putting the Keller Williams Realty logo on all of our images to keep us compliant. If you have your page name that says like Mine is Dustin Sartoris, Realtor, Keller Williams Realty. And, you know, it says our brokerage name, but it might be better if we also put the logo just to make sure we're following the rules.
See that? I think it's a new rule. What it will do with that graphic is it puts it in the bottom right hand corner so that it follows the compliance rules of disclosing that
Which brokerage
you're with.
Yeah. So right now you can't see mine because it's black. So I gave you in the file I gave you all the different logos: grayscale, white scale, black, red and gray, red and white. The best thing to do is choose the one that fits the images the best. Don't put a black logo on a black photo because then you're not going to be able to see it. Don't put a white photo on or a white logo on a white photo because then it's not going to be seen. So for this one, I mean, it's the same for all the images, so I kind of have to choose which one fits best. I'm going to do the red and white logo because I think it will give a good contrast, so you can kind of see it down there in the bottom.
How do you upload it? Okay, click here to find it.
What's up?
If you were to add this into Facebook directly, like let's say you were creating the ad in Facebook, that's not an option, correct?
Right.
So it's a benefit for command.
How did you get that logo?
Right here, DBA logo. So I uploaded.
But it went to the market center.
So you just have to log it. Oh, don't click on the link. So you already have a logo there, but see how yours has a white background? You want to get rid of that. So click that X, and then click there, and now choose one of the ones that I gave you. Now it's called.
I put it in the photo. Okay. I guess this one.
Yep. So at least you can see it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Anybody else need help with the DBA logo part? We got all our images uploaded, and we're ready for step 2. Yeah.
If not in there, it's something up front, right there about the front there. Thank you. Sure. They're coming out in
So one thing, so I did have to resize these images because the ones that I originally downloaded were way bigger than 3 megabytes.
Yeah,
3 megs. So if you do have a listing photo, you might have to reduce the file size down to 3 megabytes. So I put all these images down to like 2.6 so that they work.
Aren't we supposed to use the logo that has Keller Williams Realty on it?
Did I not do that? Oh yeah, it has Realty on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really small.
That looks That looks like it does.
It does, it's just really small.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just what I'm just giving you what I've been given.
So what I downloaded might be too big. What I downloaded might be too big.
The file?
I downloaded it from your.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Because I can read mine.
Yeah, as long as you have one image in there, go with that. If you can get all of them in there, you can do that. So we're gonna go ahead and save add media. And our next part is channel options. So this might take
What is the next part?
a little bit. Channel options right here. So you click the little drop down and it should take you right here. So this is my account. And then page. So for this purposes, I'm gonna do Keller Williams Realty Round Rock, just so you can see what it looks like. If this is your page, it'll have your photo on here, your logo, all that fun stuff.
So when you go to that arrow and select it, has my name real time beside it. So just click on that and put it in.
Yeah. There you go. Yep. So yeah, it should be your page now. If you don't see your page in the preview, you did it wrong. So I'll give you guys a second to do that. Just make sure if it doesn't pop up. So if it's not letting you select it, that means you haven't connected it properly yet. So is everybody good? Anybody have issues with that? All right. For the purposes of this ad today, we are doing a Facebook lead generation form. The reason we're doing that is when people go to click on this ad, they get popped up with a screen that says fill in your contact info. When they're done putting in their info, then they get the information. The other way to run ads would be to send them to a website first and hopefully have it convert them into a lead later on. The downside to that is they've gotten the information that they wanted and they're happy and they're done and now they click X without leaving their information. What's up?
Hey, no, I'm good. Okay, so where you have Keller Williams Realty Round Rock, is that a page of yours?
That's the Market Centers page.
That's the Market
I'm just
Centers page.
using that for the purposes of the
I would
class.
actually, I have my page up from Greg O'Donnell Realtor for Facebook. I would actually rather have Keller Williams there. No?
No, because you're
The name of your page.
Right, but what I was gonna ask is because it's name brand recognition.
Yeah, but
somebody would click on it, and then if it could go to my page after they click on it, awesome. That's what I'm saying.
So you can create a page with a different name, but it still has to comply with all of the advertising guidelines that are given to you by Trev. Which means you have to have your IABS on it, you have to have identifiable information on it, you have to disclose which brokerage you're with, and if you don't follow that, you're violating the rule and can get a violation.
But I think all my information would be on the
Well, your information is not on this page. But if you create your own page, just make sure that it follows all of the guidelines.
So there's something that's popping up for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's when they first click use the Facebook lead capture.
Okay.
It's asking them to go to another page to accept the use agreement
Okay.
for that lead. And that's basically saying you're not gonna discriminate or do stuff like bad stuff. You could read, you should probably read it, but that's basically what it says.
Anyway, we have to accept in order to.
Yeah, in order to run ads, you have to accept it. And you also, so
if you're running an ad in Facebook itself, it's going to make you run ads as a housing special category, which also means that you will not discriminate against age groups, genders, all the fair housing list of protected classes. And so because of that, you cannot target an ad to male or female. You have to run it to all age groups. So you have to run it from 18 to 65 plus. You cannot target zip codes or certain areas. You can't like choose one little neighborhood and only advertise to that anymore. So you can't just choose your farm neighborhood and that's it. You have to at least do a 15-mile radius, because then the demographics kind of even out and you're not advertising to only a certain group of people. So the ads that I'm going to show you today should have no effect on those rules and limitations. There's a lot of negative thoughts out there that those rules now limit your capability to generate a good amount of leads, and that's just not true. So what I'm showing you today is the easiest way to generate leads, even with those rules in place. And as time goes on, they might adjust those, and I don't know if they'll get more strict or more lax, but you know, if it ever changes, then you can just come back to my class and learn how to do it again. Any questions about that? Yeah, so I think a lot of you walked in after I said this, but I am planning on doing this once a month at least. I just can't do February because of family reunion and all the stuff that's going on in February. The schedule is completely maxed right now. There's no room to even fit it on the calendar. But if you come into my marketing class every week from 11 to 12 on Mondays, and then once a month on Wednesday night, the third Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m., then we can touch on things like that. And if you need individual help or help generating an ad that you've thought of that you want help with, I'd be happy to sit down with you on an individual basis and get that done for you. So this class is designed to get as many people as I can, at least to a point where they can do it. And then the marketing classes are designed to help you do specific ads and kind of get a little bit more in detail on a more personalized basis. So right here, Facebook lead generation form, make sure you accept that disclaimer, read the disclaimer, and then we'll move on. Call to action, so here's where you can choose different call to actions. I guess right now we only have 3. So learn more. We don't want to scare people away with apply now or sign up. Learn more. They get the information they want and they can move on. They're happy. Follow-up destination URL. All right, so you're going to open a new tab on your browser. Don't close the tab you're in or everything you have done will be lost. So don't do that. Open a new tab, and you're going to go to your, hopefully, Command IDX website that you've set up already. If you have not set it up, look at Bruce and get his phone number. Just kidding. If you haven't set it up, we can figure out how to get yours up and running. You got it? All right. So, because we chose an ad for Round Rock, we're going to do a search for the same thing that we said in the ad.
And if you say Leander Cedar Park,
if you said Leander Cedar Park, then you got to type all those places in there.
no problem.
So right here, actually, I don't know how we would do that in this website yet. Let me see. Because if if we choose, so I think you can draw an area. If I can figure it out. Yeah. So you can draw an area around where you want to search for, LZ. If you did, you know, just a whole radius, then you can draw around an area and choose that. But for the purposes of Round Rock, I'm just going to go here and type in Round Rock, Texas. And so as you can see, it kind of gives me a map outline of Round Rock. And over on the right side, a list of all the homes that fit that criteria. Looks like I need to clear this real quick. I guess I typed in pool before. Okay. So it's going to show me the first 100 properties that are sorted by days on market. So I think, oh, that's new. Okay. Okay. So once you get the search you want, you're going to look at this top bar and see where it says dustin.kw/search/tx/roundrock sort by listing date. You're going to copy that address and you're going to paste it over here in your ad as a follow-up URL. Where?
What side are you on?
So I'm on my Command IDX website. Your personal website. So if you have like a Placer website or
your Keller Williams website.
yeah, it doesn't have to be the Command IDX website. It can be any IDX website where you can do a search and you can link to it. But it needs to be yours.
Like your domain.
Yeah, your domain. Don't link to Zillow. Don't link to Realtor.com. Don't link to the MLS. It's got to be your personal website.
Hey, when I do that, I got that in there. Right?
I don't know if it's gonna let you do it.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to put in one.
Yeah, so yeah, do a search for one. Just do and click domain. And so you can draw an area around where you want. So if you want to draw around the whole Cedar Park, Leander, Pflugerville area, you can. And it'll include all those listings.
So once we're done drawing that, we're just gonna copy and paste the URL?
Yeah.
Because mine's not that short.
No, mine's not even.
So if it's not, that just means you did a custom search, and you need to make sure it's not like too crazy of a search. Let me see what you got. Because you want it to consistently have the okay. So all this is like coordinates to where you outline. So it's always going to be, it should always be that symbol.
Okay.
So you should be good.
That's the line. I'm doing Georgetown, but it's not pulling up anything but one.
Don't do
More popped up. It might be in these.
You do have to rank check.
I can't see that. Actually, okay, so now.
So my left would be just clear search.
So,
I need to circle an area in order for me to?
No, you don't have to choose, so you don't have to circle an area. Yeah, you just have to search for the city that you're providing the results for.
You said sort by.
So here,
I'm just copying this.
give your site set up.
Yes. Put it in.
Then you're gonna go back to command. And then enter and paste it right there. So it'll redirect. So make sure your HTTP is not, because I noticed that when I copied it,
It's showing right here.
yes.
So I don't have to draw.
You don't have to say, search the three. Like 360.
Okay, so how do I put that without drawing around? Because he
So you copy the link from your website.
Well, I would, but no.
Once you do, if you're doing Round Rock, do the Round Rock search here.
I want all three cities.
And then just click Round Rock.
Challenge with that.
Remember, it's gonna look exactly like your head. So when you have all the locations, you actually wanna search for Round Rock, Texas. See how at the top it says search.
And then you said that you keep
Don't draw a circle around the map unless you've done a larger area than the city we were talking about. So if you're just doing Round Rock,
Okay, so what I need to.
all you're doing is typing in Round Rock, Texas. So that's the only thing you should be doing. So for LZ, he typed in Cedar Park and
So
Leander.
now I need to go.
And right now, there's no way to really do a search for two cities at one time. Okay. Yeah, but then you just gotta do a circle around it. But if you just do, which it doesn't really matter too much what the weight is.
Okay.
But if you just do one city, it should look similar to that.
Okay. All right.
So is everybody good with that so far?
Yeah.
Alright. So when you put in your follow-up destination URL on your ad, double check that you do not have HTTPS written twice on the link. Because if you do, they're not going to get the information you want, and then they're going to yell at you when you call them because your link was broken.
Oh,
Because it already puts it in there to begin with, so you need to delete it and put it back in.
Once I've gone around my map.
So
Bruce is on his way. I might need that. So it's HTTP is the
Bruce, can you help with this? On the different website, I don't know how to save the link.
Does it, why do you have a sort listing date at the end? You did something?
So yeah, I clicked sort by listing date so that it showed. I want to show the newest property. Make sure it shows the newest properties first.
So where do you did that? Here.
So right here, this sort by button,
And then?
and you can sort by different things.
I have it like this, but it's not showing, well, when copy the link, it's not showing that the short listing date.
I'll come over to one. Yeah, because you drew a circle, right? No, I just did filter. So that's not. So go back over here. So just click that search button.
Recently updated, do it.
Okay, now, that's all I need.
Wait, you're on KW.com. You're not on LZ. KW.com.
So how do I get that? So what do I need to do? You and I got it here?
Go to your website.
I went here, so I need to get this out.
Yeah, you need to go to your website first. So it's KW.com. No, LZ. So you need to go back here. Go to your website.
I mean, it says it's here, but then it's saying Newport.
Now do Pflugerville, and then copy that address at the top. You're gonna just click right there. Click allow. And then copy that and paste it over into your page.
It's stuck to HTTP.
How come my link came up here?
And I can't.
It might not appear
I
on
didn't
all.
see it, so I highlighted it all the way
Just make
across,
sure.
and I'm like, thank you.
I should have made it Mikey then.
It might not, but so if you're on the web feed, you can change it and see if it shows it, but it might not show you a preview.
Yeah.
It might not show you a preview until it loads. Yep.
Alright.
Good. Alright.
I got a red here.
So I think that part's the most difficult part, just getting the right information. If I was doing like a list of homes that were recently updated, like the price was just changed, like here's all the houses in Round Rock that just had a price reduction. So I could sort by recently updated or price, or actually, hold on. It is right here. So price reduced less than 7 days ago. So in the more button, there's a little checkbox that says price reduced 7 days ago. So these are all the homes that have had a price reduction in the last 7 days. So I could do an ad for that. I could do an ad for homes with a pool, homes with a large backyard, homes that mention green belts, homes that mention horses. So anything that you could put a horse on. If I wanted to do a list of, range properties that I could get some cattle on, you can type that in the keywords, and the keywords will pull from the MLS listing anywhere where it mentions that word. So if in the description it mentions like fixer-upper or something like that, you can put in the keywords and it'll find all those properties. So your ads can literally be for whatever subject you want. You just have to find a niche and go with it and see what happens. If you get no results, trash it and start it over. It's a lot of trial and error. I've spent thousands of dollars trying different things. And you don't have to, but the benefit to that is the more you spin, the quicker you find out if it works or not.
So the search is just on what the MLS field. I mean, they don't
Right.
search comment, do they?
No, it'll just be like MLS description.
Right.
Any field where it has that word, it'll try and find it.
Anything that is actually clicked when it's entered.
It should. Yeah.
But it doesn't look at, like some people just put in the description, investor special.
It should find that too.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Are you doing ad targeting right now?
That is the next part.
Okay, sorry.
Very good. Okay. So we all got our destination URL in there, hopefully. Now we're going to do ad targeting. So, right here we're going to click the Use Custom Settings button. You have two options at this point. One is going to be to target my database. So I'm going to point this feature out because this is a very cool feature that makes life so much easier for you guys. Target My Database lets you show and run ads to everybody that has been entered into your command with the click of a button. So if you didn't have this button in command, you would have to go into your CRM, download a list of all your leads, create a Facebook audience, upload that audience to Facebook audiences, match all their information to their profiles, and then you can target to your database. Another couple days of work. And probably a lot of phone calls to Dustin.
And then if you change it, you have to do it again.
Yeah.
And you change
Right.
it.
So anytime you add people into your database, you then have to do it all over again. So this keeps an audience of everybody that's in your database so you can run ads to them consistently. And I highly recommend we do that, not with this class, but maybe the next class, is we retarget our database and make sure that they remember who we are.
It's just assuming that the email that they gave us is their Facebook email or something?
So it matches, what it does is it takes their name, their email address, and their phone number and tries to match one of those to a Facebook profile. If there's multiple people with the same name, then, and you don't have an email and phone number, it's not going to match it. But if it matches their email or phone number, it'll tie it to that profile, and then you're good to go.
Did it give you the errors for the ones that didn't?
No, it won't tell you. Yeah, it won't tell you how many people it's showing to, and it won't show you what's working and what's not. But the chances are greater than if you don't do it. True. If both are bringing you to report. Exactly.
So your database is contacts that are in command.
Right.
Hopefully they're the same emails.
So,
I know this is a Facebook kind of training, but is there a LinkedIn feature as well in command yet? Or no?
So there is for posting posts, I believe. I think, or there should be, if there's not.
No, I believe it's Facebook, Twitter.
It's not. No,
are the only two you can post to right now.
Okay.
The short answer is probably yes. It'll be coming.
Yeah.
We're not stopping with these two platforms. These are just the first two primary platforms.
So yeah, LinkedIn's probably next if it's not in there. But there's no ads that you can run to LinkedIn. So you can't really target what there is.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't done a class on that. Just kidding. When we have that feature, I'll focus on that. But yeah, the biggest thing, if you're targeting your database with ads and then you're calling them and they remember who you are, like that's important. You know, when you have the conversation with them, they're like, "Oh, hey, I saw you a few days ago on Facebook." Pretty cool.
That's a good thing.
That's good. But you still have to make your calls. Location. So the ad we are doing is for Round Rock. We're going to type in Round Rock. Why are you not working? It'll pop up here in a second. There we go. So Round Rock, Texas. Radius. So again, 15 miles is the smallest you can go. So because Round Rock is kind of a small city area-wise, I'm going to make it as small as I can, because that'll probably, even at 15 miles, it'll probably still hit Hutto and Pflugerville and a little bit of Georgetown possibly. So again, if you're doing different ads for different cities, you want to, like, let's say, so you're doing Cedar Park and Pflugerville. So for your targeting, I would choose something in the middle of those areas. So something like maybe Brushy Creek instead, and do a 20-mile, 25-mile radius around that.
So just say Brushy Creek and.
So figure out what's in the middle of that area and do a radius around that stuff.
But it has has to be like a city, can be like a
Um,
neighborhood or?
Depends on what it lets you type in. So if it lets you put in a neighborhood, it might work. Bigger neighborhoods like Terra Vista might work. I don't know which ones will appear in the search field, but you can play around with it.
I put Brushy Creek in, put Brushy Creek, North Texas.
Okay.
That's good. Williamson County.
Yeah.
25 miles away.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, expert targeting right here. Got my little handy dandy list. Now, we're gonna add a few different interests, so make sure you guys get all of them. And just because I'm adding these doesn't mean you can't add them or change them. If I add Realtor.com, that means that anybody who has visited or liked Realtor.com or expressed interest in Realtor.com will be on this audience. The audience size that you see, so the 7.1 million people that are on this list, is a nationwide list. That doesn't mean that there's 7 million people in Round Rock that are on the Realtor.com list. That's just how many people are on the list as a whole. So we're going to add Realtor.com, and you can see them appear over here in the gray as you go on. So I'm not going to close this window. I'm going to type in my next one. First time buyer. I'm going to check that. So right now I got two. I got Realtor.com and I got first time buyer. Good. I'm also going to type in Trulia. So anybody that's visited Trulia.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to do Premier Agent because those are real estate agents that have signed up for advertising basically. So I don't want to choose that one. I'm going to do just Trulia. Homes.com. Zillow. House hunting. And starter hunt. Okay. So I'm gonna save this selection just so you guys can see all of this. So you can see the list here. These are the ones that I've added. That doesn't mean that you have to only run these. If you're running an ad about properties that have a horse, you could target people that are interested in ranches or land or, I don't know, whatever pops up about horses. If I was running an ad for houses with a swimming pool, I would maybe target people that are interested in swimming, diving, I don't know, anything adventurous that's involved in the water, things like that. I don't know. You just have to be creative with your targeting. Not everything is going to show up. The websites that do show up are like the major search portals. So Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow, Homes.com. I don't know what other ones will pop up. I'm not sure Redfin does.
I tried, it didn't work.
It didn't work?
I missed,
No, it probably doesn't.
Is
I don't
it 2
think
words or 1 word?
It's 1 word. Yeah, I don't think it does. It's only going to be like the top major search portals. And so you just have to be a little creative with what you're looking for. If you're trying to advertise houses that are $500,000 or above, you probably don't want to put in first time buyer. They're not going to be able to afford $500,000 house as their first home. Same with starter home. So starter home, you know, if you're doing properties that are 200 to 250, that's probably a good thing to add. So these are the basic ones. You can take them out and add them as you need to, but just, you know, just kind of think about it a little bit before you save and continue. Just, you know, make sure you're targeting the right people. And it's all trial and error, so some things work, some things don't. Is everybody still working on that? Okay. I'll give you guys a few minutes.
So when I was talking to Bruce, he said same to the grab, so I said with the condition. No. So I said it's $30 right there with that.
So channels, so if you show us maybe one for yeah, but we will think about list those out. So we'll list out whatever what they do with their specific websites. So each one would be a channel. So Facebook would be a channel, Instagram would be a channel, and Twitter would be a channel. Everyone can choose. Yeah, we went ahead and did that in 10 days at, I guess, $3 a day. And it could be that it's taking a while to hold this up.
So I have to get another website. Okay, my website.
There's a lot of cool stuff coming in the day. Right. And it'll tie into the mobile apps that's coming out in 7 weeks. Think about those who are there might be a you might have to go through all 100 and find 2 or 3, but once you have those 2 or 3, no one else is targeting. So I don't know what it's going to look like.
Let me try to get that.
So why legacy years? So because of the housing, fair housing regulations, there's certain categories that are allowed, or what are best kids.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
You're right.
You're
right.
I find that progress. Okay. Like I said, spend more time. So for you, you want to target Apple, you got to think about, you got to go behind them. This got to deconstruct Apple. So you'll be interested in computer science. You'll be interested in product design, maybe. You'll be interested in veteran programming, things like that. Maybe high tech.
Professional job, Okay.
It's too broad. It's not related.
Okay.
But it's on the right. I have a couple minutes. I got a few things.
I'm gonna think on this one.
And you can add it later. That's the thing. You can save this.
You might know military soldier.
So, if you want to do and, you gotta go to Facebook and
Senior citizens.
Okay, so one thing that Greg pointed out. Thank you, Greg. So if you want to target all of these first-time buyers interested in Trulia, home, Zillow, house hunting, and you also want to make sure that they target another audience, you can go over here and click and then let's say horsework, no, kayaking, no, swimming, swimming pools. So they have to be interested in buying a home and be interested in swimming pools. Then you would click the and over here and check this. So and must also match swimming pools. So that's a new feature that they just added recently. So if my ad is about swimming pools, or houses with a pool, and they gotta be interested in swimming pools.
It's probably equestrian.
Maybe.
Or cattle.
Something like that. I was just using that as an example. First thing off the top of my head.
So these keywords that you're targeting, these are keywords that people are using to search?
So,
where are these?
Typically, if somebody's posting on Facebook and says, hey guys, I'm thinking about buying a home, they're going to be put on one of these lists. They're probably, or I'm house hunting right now, then it's going to match them and put them in the house hunting group. If they go to Zillow and they visit Zillow or they interact with an ad from Zillow, it'll mark them in the Zillow group. So there's different ways that they get added to these groups. So like for me, if you interact with any of my ads, then you're into my group and then I retarget. So, yeah, there's different ways. It's all algorithm based, advanced stuff with it. I don't think any of us could figure it out. All data, information, and maybe some AI to it. Has everybody gotten at least most of their audiences added? Anybody having trouble, issues, complaints, concerns? No? Alright, I'm going to go to the next part. Unless anybody needs me to wait. Nope, okay. Save Facebook ad. And the last part, duration and budget. So your start date always has to be a day after the day you created the ad. It's going to go through a review process. Typically your first ad that you run takes a little bit longer, so be patient. It might take a little longer than 24 hours for your first lead generation ad. I've seen them take maybe sometimes 48, 72 hours. So just give it some time, it'll go through. As far as your duration, it's always better to start off with, I mean, it kind of depends on your budget. So you want to keep it at least $2 or $3 a day at the minimum. So if you only have $20, you probably only want to run it for 10 days at $2 a day. If you can run it for a month and do $2 or $3 a day, you probably want to do that. But the idea is that you're going to kind of see results and you're going to see how many leads you get. And either you're going to want to stop it or you're going to want to recreate it and give it more of a budget because it's doing so well. So if it's not doing very good, give it a week. Always give it at least a week. If it's not doing well in a week, turn it off. Try again. Don't just turn it off after a day or two because it probably hasn't even run at that point. It's not done its thing. It hasn't learned what kind of audience is going to click on your ads and what people it needs to show to and what images work better than others. That takes a few days of time. And it'll probably take at least $10, $20 just for it to figure out what's going on. So as far as, if it was me, I would run it personally for 30 days, just to give it some good time. And my budget would be probably at least $2 a day. It would have to be something worth it. Otherwise, less than $2 a day, and you're not really getting a good amount of leads. You can.
So with these ads, we're able to stop the ad.
Yes.
If it's something that's not working for us,
Correct.
we can generate a different type of headline or whatnot, right?
Correct.
Edit the changes or edit the ad, can we?
So you can't make modifications once you've published it, but you can always create a new ad. So you want to recreate it and change the wording and all that stuff and relaunch it. But you can't go and just make a quick modification to this.
Can you stop it?
You can stop it, yes. Yeah. So if I click save duration and budget right now and I publish my campaign, it's going to immediately charge my card $62. If I run it, so I have it set for 31 days. If I stop it tomorrow, I get that money back. It's only going to charge you what it spent. So if it's only spent $2 or $3, that's all it's going to be taken out. It's going to give you that money back.
So
You'll see a credit back in your account. Yeah. So
let's say I put 50 cents. I'm just saying that. What is the range of people that attract? And if I put $10, is that how it works in the dimension?
So it doesn't limit the audience. It limits. So when somebody clicks the ad, it charges you a certain amount. So if somebody clicks on it, it'll charge you, let's say, 50 cents. So you would have, if you put 50 cents into it, you would only have one click. If that person fills the lead form out, great, you get them as a lead. If they don't, you still get charged that 50 cents. So at that point, with the 50 cents, you would have 0 leads if they closed the form. So at least with a couple dollars, it should, I've seen this, so I think I have some ads running that only took like $2 a lead. So that would be 1 lead a day from this. So you can expect about 1 lead a day for $2 a day. That's about how much it'll take. And it depends on, like, if we all run this same ad to the same audience, we'll probably compete each other, and the cost per lead will go up too. So that's why we want to change it up a little bit after time. Like, use this, see what works, play with it, do some different options. You don't have to publish the campaign if you guys don't want to, but if you do want to, you can go ahead and do that once you figure out a budget that works for you.
So we can save the duration and budget and then go up and save as draft and come back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you can save as draft, come back later, change it up.
So it'll readjust the dates.
Well, that's a good question. It might.
The start date is today or
tomorrow.
So if I come back in tomorrow, I may have to change that start date, or
it might update automatically. I'm not quite sure.
I think if you do the 30 days, it automatically updates.
Right.
Yeah.
So so it's not like you have to go in there and change it. So because I've run different ads, not for real estate, but I've run different ads and it updates automatically from what I've done in the past. So
when you saved it and come back.
Yeah.
So just figure out a budget that works. My advice to you is don't spend more money than you have hoping to get some quick business. These leads are not going to be, they're not going to fill out a lead form and expect to be in a car the next day. You're going to have to call them, text them, email them.
Like any other
lead. Right. Maybe even add them on Facebook, send them a private message. you will have to chase after them. You might get one every once in a while that turns into, somebody that does want to get in the car the next day. You never know. But don't expect to spend, like, let's say you only have $100 in your bank account. Don't expect to spend $100 and get a closing out of it that will pay your bills in the next few days. You don't want to do that. Just say. Doesn't happen. But once they are entered, so the benefit to this is once they come in as a lead, they will be added to your database in Command, and they'll be marked as a lead. So you'll have them, if you have the Kelly app or when the new Command mobile app comes out, you'll get an alert on your phone that says, hey, you have a new lead. I think they're still working on the alerts, but that should happen soon.
A second part to that, probably around family reunion, maybe a little bit after, we were talking about beefing up the ability to edit campaigns or the smart plans. And so you'll be able to add like a Facebook ad to trigger a campaign. So like if when someone comes in on a Facebook ad, you could run a smart plan on that lead, provided they gave you the information, the email or whatever. So those kind of automations are coming soon.
Yeah, so they'll get text, email automation, and all that fun stuff. Also, when they come in, you can set them up on a property search. So I know that these people are looking for homes in Round Rock. So I'm going to, once they come in as a lead, I'm going to set up a saved search campaign to send them homes in Round Rock. Or if I can get some neighborhood and send, that neighborhood snapshot. That'd be a good way to keep them engaged and get them the information that they want. Because with this ad, they obviously want to look at properties. So you got to give them the information that they want, or they're going to go somewhere else. If you're not the one providing it, they're just going to call the next person. So
Dustin, what's your experience on running ads in Facebook using Facebook's tools versus Command?
So last month, I had an ad I was running in Facebook Ads Manager that I've been targeting and playing with for a while. And I recreated the same exact ad, same targeting, same everything in Command, and it was half of the cost. So it was $2 a lead instead of about $4 a lead, which is huge. So I don't know why that was. I think it's because we have like a corporate advertising account or something, and so our budget, our money goes further than it does if you're just
we represent 180,000 clients.
Right. So yeah, the benefit is there. It makes a big difference, especially if you're spending a couple $100 a month on the ad. You get twice the results.
How do the leads come in? Do they come into email or do they come through Command?
They'll be added as a lead in Command.
So you'll be notified soon.
Should, yes. I don't know if those alerts work.
How have you been getting them to Command?
So I actually.
You sort your contacts by lead.
Yeah, I have my stuff tied to another CRM that I pump stuff into. So I get it in Command and then it pumps it into my other CRM. So I get an alert through that. Because Command, when I was running it, we weren't getting alerts for new leads, and I couldn't have that happen because I didn't know they were coming in.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that they fixed that now. At least the stuff I've seen on like Command Your Conversion and all those Facebook groups, I believe the alerts are fixed. Especially if you have the Kelly mobile app. It should let you know.
Yeah, because they're gonna click on your website and then your website notifies you.
So they're gonna click on this ad. They're gonna click Learn More. They're gonna get popped up with a screen. They're gonna fill out their name, email, phone number.
Oh, on your website.
On the Facebook ad. So they're not going to the website yet. Once they fill out their information, then they get sent to the website. So they could technically give you their information, click the website, and then maybe fill out another form over here, or click on a property save a search, click on Ask Me, or maybe even go apply to Keller Mortgage or something. They could engage with the website at that point. But you already have their information, so all you got to do is call them and figure out what they're looking for and help them out at that point. So you might want to, put them on an MLS search or something else, but you got to call them and reach out to them and figure out what they need. And if they don't answer the first time, just keep calling until they answer. Until they say go away, keep calling.
When you talk about search, this is kind of like part 2, right? So they came in and the Facebook lead, it came from a Round Rock ad. You go into command and set up a search for Round Rock, and it will send them listings from your website that meet Round Rock criteria. Not MLS is definitely better for that because you can get really specific, but at this point you don't know. You don't really know them, or maybe you haven't even contacted them. But at least you're sending them content, you're sending them information at that point. So that's the step 2, like for part of the following up with Facebook leads. One of the things you can do.
So once you do this campaign, it goes automatically to Instagram stories as well?
No, so at the beginning we only chose Facebook.
Okay.
So the ads that at least if you follow what I said, it would only show on Facebook at the moment. And the reason is usually Instagram leads don't really convert as well. It's a good way to get out there to a mass audience, but if you only have a limited budget, I would stick to just Facebook at the moment. A lot of people just on Instagram, they're just looking at photos, they don't want to leave their information. So your cost per lead is a lot higher. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I just want to let you know your sponsors for lunch are here. Please, if everyone could just give them 2 to 4 minutes of your time to listen to what they're saying, just to hear about their company. They did provide us lunch. So whenever this class is over, y'all might just hang it out for a few more minutes.
You'll bring them in right now.
Huh?
You'll bring them in.
Okay.
I'm going to leave this on the screen.
So I can go ahead and click save duration and budget. So I'm doing 15 days right now.
Yes.
I'm spending about $30.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can go in at the end of the week or the middle of next week and see what we're doing and modify.
You're relaunching, so you can't modify it once it's published.
Okay, I can relaunch it.
Yeah.
Quick.
Recreate it.
Alright. Click. I just
And then click that.
Hey guys, what y'all doing with that?
I just spent $30. Okay, what I have to do?
Publish campaign.
I click that and then
I do for another page.
okay, so where will I see it?
You're not going to see it. So right here is where you see the results.
Okay. So to go there every day, I need to go to this one. Yep. Right now, I probably got to the same station. He's at I was talking to him. You were? Yeah. I was saying.
You guys hungry today?
You guys want to stand right here in the middle of the screen?
Right, want to be on the spotlight?
Yeah.
Can we get our picture tag?
Did karaoke with Lionel today? I got some jams for you.
So if you stay on the black line, you'll be on the screen.
Okay. Guys, just a quick introduction. First of all, I want to thank you all for allowing us the opportunity to come introduce ourselves. My name is Danny Perry, and this is Hunter Dollinger. We're with Black Slate Roofing and Construction. I'm the sales manager, and this is the owner of the company. I'm going to turn it over to him and allow him to talk about what we do and how we can help you guys.
So we're Austin-based. We've been in business since 2015 with the roofing company and 2012 with the construction company. And what we want to do for you guys is basically, if you guys are in an option period, you have a client that's under contract, or you're selling a house and you have issues, either side, you have
roofing issues, siding issues, whatever that you need help for, and it's typically like 24-hour period that you guys all want this turned around. Emails, pricing, all that stuff. That's where we jump at. So we're covered from, we office out of Southwest Austin. Danny lives in Round Rock. We cover both sides, so we can get anywhere from you in the city and get you guys taken care of. Unless it's snowing outside or it's coming down pouring, we'll be on the top of the roof with some numbers in the email for you guys to provide to your clients. That way,
Not very mobile. I can close anywhere within 24 hours to get you guys report back to you. So, inside the koozies that we left for you guys, there's just a little bit of information, just some talking pieces that we were going to bring to you. But with 2 to 4 minutes, we can't really elaborate on a whole lot of stuff. So, if you can keep that information and look over it, that'd be great.
Also, we've got a Facebook page, so if you guys can go in there and like our pages, that would be awesome too. And you can also see some of our work and more information on there too for you guys to take a look at.
So on the bottom of that too, there's also an incentive that we want to offer you guys to so we can both work together. We're going to be returning on February 25th, I believe is a Tuesday, and I think we're doing a little 10 to 15 minute presentation with anybody that signs up. In the meantime on there, for any of you guys or any of the agents in the company that can get us 2 referrals, I think it is, within the next 30 days or by the time that we return, we'll have a $100 gift card for anybody that shows up, and I have those 2 referrals on hand. And then both of those referrals will lead to inspections, obviously. If they don't close, it is what it is, but the lead obviously is appreciated. And on there, I think there's a bigger one. Between now and I think the end of March is what the date is on there. If anybody is to give us 5 referrals, one of them leading to a close, you guys will have the option to have a roof put on at your choice at no cost or at cost. So there won't be a labor cost to anybody. So if any of you guys have damage to your roofs or have a hail inspection that you're waiting on, we'll do the whole thing at cost for you.
Big savings.
Pretty big savings.
But at the end of the day, we really want to make y'all's transactions as easy as possible. I know that y'all's lives are stressful, y'all are always on time constraints, and we want to help alleviate anything we can. So.
And just know your inspections or your come out and look at it is
it's free.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
You call me, I'll be there within 24 hours, hopefully same day, and we'll get it knocked out for you.
Yeah. And easiest way to, if y'all end up with an inspection, say, hey, just shoot an email to us. We can look at the inspection before then. If it's something small, or we can go hit the roof, whatever you guys want. We can do either one. So.
Do you have some shiplap examples on your site?
We have some pictures, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. You guys got any questions for us?
You guys go to Killeen?
We can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we spent a lot of time, just real quick, down Hurricane Harvey over the last couple of years. We replaced a ton of roofs down there. So we'll go replace roofs, down the street. It's, it just depends if it's, gonna make it worth everybody's while. So a lot of the stuff we can look at electronically, and I can give you a bid on a house that's in Killeen without even going up there. So it makes it easy for everybody. I can turn it around a lot quicker too. So.
But we just want you to go take a look at a house for us. Is there a cost for that?
Nope, no, zero.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys need anything, our information's on there. Danny's card's in there. Our phone number's on there. We'd love to hear from you. Anything we can do for you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the lunch.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
There's sodas and a huge cooler, there's teas, and then an assortment of Schlotzsky's. You guys help yourself. Okay?
Feel free to hang out with us while we eat.
Sure.
Thank you.